Some spicy details here. Wolf's Gravestone as well as the Staff of Homa are coming out. That's some Hu Tao stuff. You guys have been keeping up with the leaks. Hu Tao is definitely coming out very soon because this weapon is becoming available. Probably will be dropping a week after this banner has been out there. But let's go over the Wolf's Gravestone / Staff of Homa banner, and let's talk about the Staff of Homa really quickly and whether you guys should be picking it up or not for a lot of the characters out there. And let's get right into it for you guys. So we have a lot of pole arms to go over, and the Staff of Homa, if you guys don't know what it is, it's a fantastic pole arm. I can't say fantastic too many times. Base attack is okay at max level, goes all the way up to 608 and gives you 66 crit damage. Very high. Then the special passive here as well, it gives you a little bit of HP percent, refinement rank 1, which is what it drops as, 20% HP. And then it gives you this thing that everyone's losing their mind about. And I'm going to kind of temper your expectations a little bit here, because this is not just going to be amazing on every character known to man out in the Genshin Impact universe. This weapon was specifically tailor-made for Hu Tao, and this is the bonus here that everyone's kind of going crazy about. Now, provides an attack bonus based on the max HP of the wielder. This is 0.8% max HP. I see a lot of people getting this wrong, thinking it's like 8% max HP. They don't know how to convert percentages to decimals. Like, doesn't give me like 2,000 attack. It's so strong. Doesn't do that. 0.8% of the wielder's max HP. When the wielder is less than 50% health, the attack bonus is increased by an additional 1%. So that's also pretty nice there. So let's talk about this really quickly. Two things. Very strong for Hu Tao because this is exactly the design of Hu Tao's character. She's based around building for HP. Her E is basically this weapon's passive. This weapon's passive and Hu Tao's E are the exact same thing for the most part. She wants more HP because she gets HP to attack. This weapon gives HP to attack. That's awesome, which means that you're building HP percent on that character because both of those things, the objectives are the same and they're flowing the same way. That river is flowing the same way, and there's no crossing the paths and which one's better. Do I want to stack attack or HP percent? On Hu Tao, this weapon, you're always stacking HP percent. It's going to be the best thing for you. Other characters, though, not the same. So if you have a character like a DPS character, like someone like Xiao, right? You're going to be still focusing on attack percent. You're not going to take a character like Xiao and build them HP percent. It's just not going to happen. Now, a character like Xiao comes in with the flower at level 90, a level maxed out flower and like a level 90 Xiao. He's gonna be coming at like 16,000 HP. Now let's say you have some subsets for HP or whatever, you're gonna have like 18,000 HP. Now if you have 18,000 HP, if you're not above, if you are above, excuse me, 50% health, you're gonna get 0.8% of your max HP. So you're gonna get 0.8% of that 18k, which means you're gonna get 144 attack. That is not a lot of attack, okay? That is not a lot of attack, but we will talk about the merits of this weapon on its own because this also could be very strong for him still, but you're not going to build him for HP percent because it's just not that good for him. Now, even if you had, the sub 50% HP, which is pretty nice on Xiao, right? He drains his HP over time. That's going to be pretty good there. You're going to get an additional 1%. So you're going to get like an additional 160, 170 on top of that 144. So you're still going to get like 200 and, almost 300 free attack there. And that's pretty good there. Now, keep in mind that the weapon is 608 attack. And there are other weapons out there that give you more attack percent as well. So we need to talk about that on top of this. So at rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, rank 5, on anyone not named Hu Tao, it's really not going to be the deciding factor between attack percent and HP percent. And we've showed this off before, and I'll link that video as well with all the math behind it, that this weapon alone does not warrant you wanting to stack HP percent over attack percent on your conventional characters. The only other character I can think of outside of Hu Tao that could use this weapon and go for an HP percent build is going to be Zhongli, because he does have some HP scaling on his damage dealing skills, although attack percent will make them do more damage with HP percent. However, you can still use this weapon to get that HP percent extra damage there, and then on top of that, you're going to have stronger shields for him. But at the end of the day, you're still going to gain way more damage on Zhongli when you have attack percent, because Zhongli's a tanky boy and you're never going to be under 50% HP unless you're walking up to Dvalin and having them smack you around a bit because you have them super strong HP barriers. It's just not going to break. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to have that big less than 50% HP buff there. Now, some other weapons here to consider on top of this, guys, right? To keep it in consideration here. This weapon does have some very solid stats. Like we said, 66 crit damage. and 608 attack. So if you were going to get this weapon for someone like Xiao as your first 5-star weapon, that could be very strong for you, because the Black Cliff pole armor, the Deathmatch are both very strong for him as well, depending on what sort of gear you have, depending on if you're doing that cryo build for Xiao. Could be very nice there for him. But remember, there's also alternatives here. Like, let's talk about the Vortex Vanquisher and the Primordial Jade Wind Spear. And let's talk about those two versus the Staff of Homa when it comes to this HP percent scaling attack buff really quickly. Because remember, 608 attack here versus 608 attack on the lovely Vortex Vanquisher. Now this has 49% attack right here on its own, and then this has a stacking attack buff here as well, which can give you an additional 40% attack. So 49 here and 40% here. Now your base attack on someone like your conventional polearm characters has like a 300 attack or so as their base attack. So 300 there plus 600 here, like 900 attack there. Now, when you have 900 attack, 49.6% attack, that's going to give you 446 attack right there off of just this stat alone. Now, we just talked about how much this Staff of Homa passive gives you. It's going to be 144. 144 versus the whopping 446. And you're also going to get another 40% from this as well on these characters that have these shield buffs on them as well. That's going to give you an additional like 350, 360, 370, somewhere around there attack as well. So you're looking at like, 750, 800 attack versus the whopping 144 attack from this one. Now this one does give you the crit damage, which is a very nice bonus, and that is one consideration for why you would want to be using this weapon. And we talked about that 30 seconds ago in those high crit builds, maybe out there when you have like the cryo set and a freeze team on. You don't really have to worry about crit rate that much, so you can put the crit damage, boom, put that on there, and then put a crit damage circlet on there, and then maybe our character scales with crit damage, and you're ready to rock and roll. And you could use this weapon for that alone in those specific builds, and we're going to have the math video for that as well in the future. This is just sort of a sneak peek thing. Now we also have the Primordial Jade Wing Spear. And if you have this weapon already, I've been asked this a lot of times, is why we're making this video. If you like this content, you want to see more math stuff like this about what weapons are good for you guys, I've been asked this a bunch. Then make sure you go ahead and you show that fire comment down there, down in the comment section. Make sure you like the video, help us out here on the channel. Base attack here, 674. That's how we combat the YouTube algorithms, with our 674 base attack and our smiling faces down there in the like and comment section. 674 base attack. 22 crit rate, and then a stacking attack bonus here. So this means that every single time you have an attack percent in your substats and your artifacts on your main stat sands, you're gonna get more attack from this than you will from Staff of Homa. Staff of Homa, for every 10% attack you have, you're gonna get 6.8 attack here, or 60.8 attack here. For every 10% you have on the Primordial Jade Wing Spear, you're gonna get 67.4 attack there. So on your sands alone, you're already looking like you're going to be gaining an additional, 5 times 7.4, so almost like 40-ish attack there for you. So pretty strong. There's like 36, 37 attack. And then on top of that, every time you have attack percent from the stacking attack buff, every time you have attack percent from additional substats, this is going to give you increasing returns on that attack there as well. So very strong weapon here. The Staff of Homa is very good. And I will say, throughout all the testing that I've done so far and all the math based on what this weapon does in Hu Tao, if you are a Hu Tao fanatic and you want her to be the best girl, this is the go-to weapon for her. Nothing else comes close. We are going to have another video this week about how far ahead it is from the other competitions. It's gonna be substantially far ahead, but it's very, very good. But we'll have that video out as well in case you want to look at your other options. So wanted to get the video out for Staff of Homa. Very good. Didn't want to draw on any longer than we have to for this video. Let me know how you feel about Staff of Homa. Let me know how you feel about it in a non-Hu Tao build. It really, really, really is just sort of catered to her. We haven't really seen a weapon quite like this. We've seen weapons that are like kind of catered to certain characters, kind of catered to certain 5 stars, but this one is basically they took that character's passive and turned it into a weapon passive, and it's so unique. That passive is so unique that it really is sort of just kind of catered specifically to her. The math backs it up. And I just wanted to let you guys know that if you want to see more stuff, like we said, check that button down there, hit that subscribe-arino, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have fun out there and take care.